chancellors present, chairs of council, council members, members of management, esteemed scholars, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to this very important solemn occasion. And I wish to thank you for joining us today as we mark a significant milestone in Kenya's history towards educational excellence. Our nation has made substantial investment in education, which have yielded a global competitive workforce, a true testament of our dedication to development. Kenya possesses a unique competitive advantage enhanced by the capabilities of our people who drive growth across many sectors in our republic. This strength attracts investors, supports our robust service sector, and sustains our expansive diaspora community. Today, we stand united under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, a bold initiative that leverages our human resource to spur rapid economic growth and enhances the productivity of our labor force. At the heart of better is pivotal role of tertiary education in our national strategy. We foresee our universities becoming crucial engines of our economic transformation, focusing on research, innovation, and the expansion of knowledge. In recognition of their pivotal role, we are awarding charters to the Management University of Africa and Tangaza University, reaffirming our commitment to practical applied learning that prepares leaders across all sectors. With these additions, Kenya now proudly hosts 64 chartered universities, solidifying our status as a regional hub for higher education. However, our workforce is not done. We must continue striving to meet the ever-growing demand for higher education, with a focus on elevating those at the bottom of the social and economic pyramid through access to quality education. The challenges of COVID-19 pandemic have underscored the need for our universities to adopt global standards and emphasize online and virtual learning. The government is committed to supporting these initiatives through significant investments from the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology. We've just concluded a countrywide program to roll out 100,000 kilometers more of fiber optic across Kenya. We believe this piece of infrastructure is going to expand fiber optic capabilities to support our education, to support digital learning, to support e-commerce, and to support digital jobs. As universities think about the future, technology, innovation, ICT must be front and center of their focus. Today's event also highlights our ongoing efforts to make university education accessible to all Kenyans, from those who ride border borders to farmers, from market vendors through innovative mobile technology. It is crucial that we maintain inclusivity in our educational system to prevent marginalization in innovation, research, and community development as we aim to transform Kenya into an inclusive knowledge society. Education has enabled Kenya to secure global opportunities, as evidenced by the record diaspora remittance of Kenya shillings 671 billion last year, surpassing traditional exports. All our exports, whether it is tea, coffee, horticulture, the single human capital resource. And that's why I keep insisting to all of us that if there is one asset we have as a nation, it is our human capital. And education and training is the instrument we use to sharpen and to model that human capital so that we use it to drive our economic growth and our progress and prosperity as a nation. Education has enabled Kenya to achieve much. To the newly chartered institutions, I urge you to promote access to affordable, quality education, integrate emerging technologies, and adhere to the high standards set by the Commission for University Education. I want to urge the Commission for Higher Education to insist on high standards and integrity. It is the single most important thing that we can do. If we want a society that is going to transcend many of the challenges that we have, we must get our education right. It is how we are going to get professional doctors, professional architects, professionals in all other fields, and it is how we are going to secure our nation going into the future. And therefore, the Commission for University Education has a cardinal mandate, almost sacrosanct, to make sure that our education, sharpening the single most important resource we have, our nation, our human capital, is up to the best standard possible. Mr. Chairman, I know you are seized of this matter, and I have confidence that you and your Commission will live up to the expectations of the people of Kenya. Curriculum development must be responsive to the industry needs, societal realities, and global trends, fostering innovative teaching and experimental learning. The granting of these charters today reaffirm our collective commitment to advancing excellence, innovation, and inclusivity in higher education. I call on all faculty and staff to remain dedicated to advancing knowledge and developing future leaders, nurturing the talents and aspirations of our students towards a future of limitless possibilities. To sustain this momentum, the government will continue investing in education through Higher Education Fund and various scholarships, ensuring that no student is left behind due to financial constraints. As the Minister has said, we've rolled out a new higher education funding model. I'm very happy that we are getting positive feedback. There is some alignment to be done, and I decided that we are going to be honest with one another. For a long time, we made a commitment as government that we are going to fund 80% of every student's learning in the university. But in practice, we committed 40%. And therefore, there was a gap between the commitment of government on one side and the reality in the universities on the other. We decided that we are going to close this reality. We are going to close the commitment and the reality on the other side. And that's why we developed a new funding model where we decided that we are going to match what we say with what we do. That there are students, we are going to give 30% scholarship and not the 80 we committed. Because in our assessment, using empirical evidence, their sponsors or parents or guardians had the capability to pay the difference. And that's why we now have a graduated system from, I think, 30% to 80%. And we were sensitive to make sure that students from vulnerable families have the highest scholarship allocation so that we don't leave any student behind on account of the financial ability of their sponsors or parents. It is the only way we are going to make sure that we have an inclusive society and that we have sharing of burden in a manner that is equitable. As we celebrate these new charters, let us reflect on the transformative power of education in imparting values, fostering creativity, and inspiring purpose all of which contribute significantly to national development. Excellence in higher education requires diligence and integrity. I urge the Commission for University Education to lead in implementing and maintaining the highest educational standards possible. To all stakeholders, I want to urge us, as we award these charters to these two universities, you today get the power and the authority to be able to discharge the responsibilities that these instruments and this charter gives to you. With authority, power comes responsibility. Responsibility to make sure that what you have committed to do indeed becomes the case. That there will be no shortcuts, that there will be no lowering of standards, that you are responsible. And with responsibility comes accountability, that you must be accountable for the graduates that exit from our universities, that they truly will be the men and women that have the qualifications that you will assign them on account of the processes that they will have attained and the marks and qualifications they will have attained in our universities. And that is why I announced the other day that we are going to be firm on making sure that it is only the papers you have acquired from recognized institutions that you will be allowed to profess. The era of fake degrees and fake certificates and the impunity that comes with it, that there are people who in broad daylight will walk to a government office and present certificates they never attained from nowhere. That level of impunity is unacceptable. And I hope that part of the teaching that will go on in our universities will be about the culture that we become as a society, the belief system, the values that we hold dear as a nation, so that we can deal with impunity in its entirety. Because the challenge we face as a nation most of the time is not because people don't know what is right. They do. But because of impunity, they decide to do the wrong thing. I think that is a societal problem we must deal with, we must speak out against, and we must collectively condemn and work towards making sure that we all live to the standards that we've set for ourselves. And therefore, let us embrace this journey with pride and optimism, committing to a future where education is valued from early childhood to university, driven by competence-based education, innovation, and inclusivity. I know that we have been read a long list of people who have congratulated these universities. Let me join that list and congratulate Management University of Africa, and also congratulate Tangaza University on attaining this very high standard. And now you can discharge your responsibilities with the appropriate instruments in your custody. Thank you very much. I know this function delayed. I apologize. The cabinet meeting that we had in the context of the situation we face in the country took a bit long, or rather long, and therefore this function was delayed. I will try to pay back in a small way by offering lunch. Maybe that will mitigate my that situation. So thank you very much. May God bless you, and may God bless our great country. Asanteni.